Hello everyone and welcome back to another challenge of Adobe Illustrator. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that it's already been 5 weeks that we are hanging out together. It's been a massive pleasure and I am so happy to be wrapping this up today with a really cool trick. We're going to do some patterns but using 3D shapes, which personally I didn't even know that you could combine until I challenged myself to do it. So before we get started, I want to say hi to our friends in the chat. I'm seeing Apura, Clarissa, Voodoo Val, Umacorn. It is so good to see all of you here. So, okay. We have a packed session today, so obviously made you a little presentation because I always do that. It just helps to tidy up everything. So we will be using a font that we have already been working with today. So Indivisible, which is an Adobe font that I absolutely adore. And we will most likely be using it within like the all caps, as you can see. So without further ado, let's go into our, what's happening here? There you go. Our working file, which you can get in the description below. So here we have some funky shapes that are designed. I am going to show you how to do a quick pattern with them, but then we're going to proceed with a completely new pattern using the 3D shapes. If you want to do some organic shapes like what you're seeing here, you can use the pen tool and just draw some cool shapes. And it's going to be whatever here. And then just fill it up with the black color. So this actually does not fit with this, but that's okay. So one thing to take in consideration is that whenever you want to do a 3D shape, it cannot be black because from what I can understand is that technically light does not necessarily reflect as well on black objects. Or whenever I'm trying to do a 3D shape in black, it just doesn't work and it stays flat. So the first thing that we're going to do here is to change the color of our shape. And let's maybe go with a very bright red. So, like so. And I like this color. I think it like matches my shirt today. So I went very like colorful today. So now in order to make that 3D, it's very simple. We're not going to go into like the depth of it because I want you to explore. Whenever I'm deciding to add 3D shapes onto my design, that's basically what I do. I explore, probably like exactly like what you do when you're designing. I don't necessarily have a plan all the time. Sometimes I have mood boards, which we don't have today, and that is totally okay. So the next thing that I want you to do is to go into Window and then 3D and Material. And you will have this menu here that will be popping up. Now there's a lot here that you can do, but what I want to work with today is the inflate option. As soon as you click on the inflate, you'll see the shape now has shadows and it kind of just like, it just like as if there was some air that was blown into the shape. Literally like if it was a balloon, hence why this is the icon that we have here right now. Perfect. Another thing that I like to do here is just playing with sometimes the perspective. The perspective is just going to make it a little longer if you wanted to move your shape around. We're not gonna do that today, but you can definitely experiment. You can also inflate on both sides. So again, if you wanted to do a massive rotation, then it would be inflated on all sides. What I do like to play with specifically for today is the material. If we go down here, we can adjust the roughness. So if I change this and I make it super rough, we're not seeing much of a difference, but it will actually change how the light is being reflected onto our shape. And my favorite is the metallic option. So here, it's just going to add kind of a glossy finish to our shape. And I really like this. Like so. Super easy and simple. And if you wanted to have a quick access to those this menu here, what you can do is just take this, add it right underneath, and as you can see, there's like that blue line that's appearing, and then the 3D menu is added onto your quick options to the side. Perfect. Now, if we wanted to do a pattern with that, super easy. We can select our shape, go to Object, Pattern, and then Make. And as you can see, it's already creating a pattern for us. And we can play with how it is being distributed. So we can do brick by row, like so. Or we can change the offset. We can even play with the positioning, like so. We can rotate it. And it's adjusting all of the other pieces, as you can see. If you have not been playing with the pattern tool before, this will blow your mind. But I'm sure you have, because I see it a lot on Adobe Live. Once you are happy, you can just click Done, and the pattern is being sent onto your swatch. Actually, the swatch menu has just opened automatically, which is super cool. Now, let's position our shape outside just in case we need to come back to it. Or if you wanted to do, let's say, another pattern and change the color, if you're not, again, if we're exploring with your poster design, this is something that you can do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is draw a rectangle like so and just choose this as a pattern. And there you go, you have your pattern. If we wanted to make that pop a little bit, oops, that's not what I want to do. I want to create another shape in the background. Right now I have the pattern selected, so that's why it's covering the whole thing. And I'm going to send the black background in the back and add maybe just a stroke around our shape, make that a little thicker. So as you can see, it's definitely creating a vibe. Let's go into trim view. I could see this if it was like a sciencey or even tropical, because this almost looks like coral, could be a fun way to like use those shapes. That's not the feeling that I'm kind of vibing with today. So I'm going to do something completely different, and you can choose to use the shapes that I've given you or do something completely different. I'm feeling actually like geometric shapes. So very simple. I'm just going to go outside the trim view so we can just toss that to the side. Now I know that I want to have a gray background, so I'm going to select that right away. And last week we added some texture to our background, and I saw at the very last minute that Ryan actually asked, how did we add that texture? So I'm going to do it again, but choose a different texture this time. So if you go to effect, like making sure that this shape is selected, you can go to effect, and we'll go to texture and then grain, and you will have this window popping up. Can we actually, yeah, we can actually zoom in too. So right now we have a grain as if it was like, I don't know if it's called the same in in English, but you know when the TV goes, we call that snow in French. Like, but I'm wondering if it's this, or static. Static would be the word. Oops, I had a French brain fart. But so this is like, yes, a staticky texture. That's not what I want for this design. I want something a little different. But the cool thing is that you can actually just unfold all the menus, and there's like a massive library that you can choose from. Now, depending on the color that you have selected with your shape, it won't necessarily do all of the effects. This is just something to keep in mind. But what I wanted was kind of, I think it was here. No, not that. That's too intense. But you can also play with the density on the side as well. Oh, film grain. That's what I wanted. So it's in the same family as the grain, but the grain that we had before had a lot of color. I wanted something that was a bit more muted, and we can definitely play with the intensity like that. Highlight some area. I mean, this does not do much. It actually just adds a bit more white into the mix, which I'm not sure if it's translating onto the live stream right now, but let's maybe hype the intensity of the grain and click OK. So this will be where we're starting from for this. I'm going to lock this because I'm pretty happy with this. So if you're on a Mac, it would be Command 2 or Control 2 on a PC. Okay, so next I want to create my pattern, but with geometric shapes. So I actually feel like circles is something fun that we can play with today. I don't want to make that too big, but big enough so it still has some weight into our poster. And I'm very much into neons right now. So a neon color like this one I think would be fun. And I want to do the same for another circle. I'll make it just a tad smaller. And that awesome cobalt blue here. So let's do the exact same thing. Let's have our shapes selected. And actually, let's have both of our shapes selected and let's see if we can add a 3D effect on both of them at the same time, which I think you can. So object here, inflate. Then, oh, because we have two, see, like it's not letting us play with the depth and the rest. So I'm just going to undo and I'm going to do one at a time. Inflate, see, everything now pops up. I want to inflate on both sides. I'm going to go onto the material at the bottom, hype the metallic effect because I like it. And maybe here we can kind of see the roughness with this color. So if I bring it up, see how the color is not as concentrated because it's like, it's not as smooth because it's rough. So I personally want to bring it down because I do want to have a smooth surface. Like, so I want to have that light circle that we're seeing at the top. And let's see if I can copy with just doing this. No, I can't. Maybe what I can do is duplicate it, make it smaller, and then change the color. So now you're sure that you have the exact same properties for both of your objects. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to make a pattern with it. So I go to Object, Pattern, Make, and press OK. I actually really like how it's being positioned right now. You can definitely, again, explore. I'm deciding not to, and I will just click Done. And we have our pattern now added into our swatch. And we can keep this on the side for later. I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so now what I want to do is create a rectangle to start building our poster. So I'm going to create just a shape, and I want it to be on the longer side like so. And I'm going to duplicate it, flip it, and juxtapose it like so. Now what I want to do is actually add the 3D pattern inside. So if I go here, making sure that my fill swatch is at the top, going to click on this, and there you go. What I like with this, and I did not know about this feature until I tried it literally yesterday, is that the patterns are actually lining up. So as you can see here, it's like we had cut into the shape, which we didn't because it's technically two different shapes, but it's aligning when you select it at the same time. How cool is this? So the vibe that we're going for today is like, maybe I'm aging myself here, but if there's some 90s kids in in the chat, please give me a thumbs up emoji or a heart or but I'm going for like that Windows like vibe that yeah, it's or it's very computer-ish, but but make it design type. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what we're aiming for today. So what I'm going to do here is group those two shapes, and I want to create a repetition. So first of all, I'm going to center this, which is already centered. Perfect. I'm going to duplicate it holding my Alt key. Oh, Voodoo Val, there you go. 90s kids in the house today. And I'm going to duplicate it once again. So this is chaotic because there's a lot that is bleeding outside of our artboard, but that is totally okay. I definitely want to have big shapes. Maybe we can make them a tad smaller, just so there's room for text. And I'm going to just distribute the objects evenly to make sure that, and it was already distributed properly. Awesome. I love when that happens. Actually, let's distribute it vertically also, and then let's group it and center it. So now everything will be balanced. If we go to trim view, does that look good? I like it. Okay, so now let's add text. Usually I have my text prepared, but I totally blanked. Is it the end of April? I mean, thankfully, yes. I don't know for you, but for me, April has gone by like that. And it's just like, where has the time gone? It's insane. So actually, that's not what I want. I want to have something that is editable. So we're going to say form, friction, and maybe another F. Form, friction, and fold. Let's go with that. Umacorn is saying insane indeed. Right? It's just like went by. Okay, so let me find the indivisible font here. Let's go to bold and let's add this to be all caps. And what I want is actually separate them. Have you noticed that whenever you're separating text like that and you copy it, it actually goes right on top of the text that you already have? It's a great way to find it afterward. See, it just did that. And I do feel like we need a bit of a slogan. So we could say something like, it's just a project. Then 90s kids, 90s inspired. There you go. Let's just embrace it, right? And we're definitely going to embrace the chaos once again because it was the theme of the month. So for the main text that I want to have bigger, I definitely want to have a hierarchy. I'm just going to put that in regular. Actually, no, maybe not regular. Maybe semi-bold. This is good. And I'm going to make that a lot bigger. And this, our 3D shape / pattern, I'm going to bring at the front. And I'm noticing the time. Oh my gosh. Time flies by when you're having fun. And in the Adobe Sphere, for sure. Okay. So it's just a project. I'm going to just make that a little tighter. So I'm going to reduce the space in between our sentences. And I'm going to bring it here. And I kind of want it to be hidden by our shapes here. And I'm going to do the exact same here, but I'm going to justify it to the right, which I barely do. And see, by doing this, very hard to see, but there's actually a space here that whenever I had the press a return for the one at the bottom, that we didn't see. We don't see it, but now we do when we're justifying to the right. Let's just group that, center it. And this, actually I will put it black because I want it really thick so we can see it. And maybe we could have it in white, just a tad bigger. And we're going to position them in between our shapes. Like so. Form, friction, we can, and just have fun with it. Also, there's a massive storm outside my house right now. And I don't know if you saw, but there was a huge lightning. So if you see my lights flickering, it's because of that. But we're almost done this stream, so we are in business for all of it. And there you go, form. I very much like the word form here. Okay, and then 90s inspired. Maybe we can do a little smaller, put that in cobalt blue, and have it on the side, like so. Maybe it can bleed out like that. Whew, we did it. Check this out. Let's go to trim view and let's look at our poster. What do you think? Do you like this? I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I have also, see, this is my crazy artboard, but I have prepared another one for you to see. I had some different copy. It's if it's for a creative project, a study in pattern, pressure, and play. Oh, follows. Follows was my other F word here. So there you go. And I also have another color right here. And I mean, this is pretty much similar to what we just did, but it's a tad bit more beige in the background. And of course, if you like your posters, your design, there you go. We can see them again here, but add them in a nice mock-up because it just brings everything to life. And like, look how cool that this looks. And this was all created within the 5 weeks that we have been working together. So if you've been following along, you have a mini poster collection, and I would love to see them on social media. So if you post them on Behance or on Instagram, please feel free to tag me. Also feel free to follow me. And I cannot wait what you will be doing next. You inspire me, all of you, like every day. Thank you so much. Make sure to stay tuned for more content. And I'm just going to change my camera setting for that. There you go. Stay tuned for more content, and I can't wait to see you again. Bye, everyone.